Somerton, South Carolina. This is a very big place. I pulled in here after 8 p.m. and I had all kinds of parking options. Was in a hurry. Do you recognize my truck? I bought this saucepan, portable saucepan. It plugs into a cigarette lighter kind of jack, so I can cook my soup in there, my pre-cooked soup. This is bedtime for bonzos. I don't know what I look like, but probably sleepy. Okay, I need to start with a little explanation. I was in South Carolina last week and I was trying to put some footage down every day, but I didn't upload it to my laptop every day. I had my laptop with me, but I didn't bother. I thought that my memory card on my dash cam could hold enough to do, because I wasn't taping very much tape back when we still had film and tape. I wasn't recording very much day to day, so I figured I wouldn't run out of room, but I did. So where we start the adventure to South Carolina and back is after I had a flat tire. I did have some footage on my phone of the Loves in South Carolina. I got there before I did any deliveries or pickups, and then so it took me 9 hours or so to get down there, and then I slept over. First thing I did was delivery. They still weren't ready to unload me, and my friend Lee noticed that one of the drive tires on my tractor was flat. Turns out some shrapnel from a truck tire that had exploded on the freeway somewhere lodged itself in the sidewall, and so my tire didn't explode or anything. It was just hanging there on the wheel, deflated. I felt like that sometimes. So I unhooked from the trailer, took my tractor over to Pilot nearby, got it fixed. I noticed some interesting things about dealing with people in the South, especially. You can't be in a hurry. And it's part of the dignity of all humans, especially workers in the South, it isn't dignified if somebody needs you to hurry. There's a kind of a hierarchical thing happening, even a supremacy thing, if you want to go that far. So it's better never to be in a hurry. I also mentioned a little bit about Southern culture, where you always want to be chill. And partly it's because it's so damn hot, but especially males in the South never want to get rattled. They never want to try too hard. They never want to look like they're trying very hard. And so that's definitely a Southern value. I noticed it the most when I moved to Georgia back in '94. I noticed right away that there were some cultural differences between Oregon and south of Atlanta in Georgia, just a few miles from the Alabama state line. It was the deep South, and I figured out some things. Anyway, that'll bring us back to where I'm reminiscing about getting my tire fixed, and then it should go from there. I'll pop back in if I need to, though. I got my tire fixed. I had to bribe somebody to get it fixed. He was a really good guy. Someone at the Petro. They were going to make me wait until the next shift came. So I went in there gently, very gently, and mentioned that I didn't know what they were going to do with my load if I didn't come back for it. But I didn't have to worry because my load was here. I had to look for it, but it was hiding in plain sight. But this guard shack here, this guard shack I'm sitting next to, it's only sporadically monitored. I watched a couple people ahead of me when I was looking for my trailer, and they get to it by and by. The second shift guard shack monitor is a little less concerned. What was I saying about raising your level of concern or keeping your level of concern lower? That's the best part about the South, is they don't allow their level of concern to get raised easily. And if you're in a hurry, they'll tell. They'll be able to tell. There's nothing you can do. But if you pass all the tests and you don't lose your shit, you don't get overly concerned about anything, just mosey along, you'll be fine. It's funny as I said that. I found it! Give me a high five. I thought you were going to give me a high five because I found it. That's some of it.
Thank you, my friend.
Yes, sir. Instead, thank you, my friend. He's needed to make sure I had a padlock on it, which I did. They have strict rules here with load bars and straps and padlocks. I could understand how abundance works today, because in every situation I would turn on the charm instead of getting frustrated. Sometimes I get charming and snarky at the same time, and that doesn't work. But I was really kind to people, and I felt kind. I didn't feel like I was faking it. I felt like I was at my peak. And when I was feeling that way, everyone responded. Like I was winning them over. And I wasn't trying to be political. I was just... it was sort of automatic. Like Harry Potter when he does that charm, the good luck charm. And then he just knows what to do instinctively. And he likes doing it. He wouldn't feel like he was selling out or sucking up. It wouldn't occur to him otherwise without taking that charm. And when I'm in that spot, I just know what to do. And I know what to say, and I know how to smile and laugh, and everything just works. And I can see that that's inspired by the good luck charm idea. It's manifesting. Part of manifesting isn't just sending your vibrations out, but it's taking inspired action. That energy pulls in knowledge about how you should be, and then you just are, and then it works, and you're in the right place at the right time. Felicis, Felix Felicis, I think is the charm, the good luck charm.
Well, how do you feel?
Excellent. Really excellent.
Remember, Slughorn usually eats early, takes a walk, and then returns to his office.
Right. I'm going down to Hagrid's.
What? No, Harry, you've got to go and speak to Slughorn. We have a plan.
I know, but I've got a really good feeling about Hagrid's. I feel it's the place to be tonight. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Well, trust me, I know what I'm doing. Or Felix does. Hi!
Bonus points if you can tell me what book that was introduced in. Felix Felicis. All bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Somewhere in North Carolina, headed to Allentown with the frozen load, all fueled up and reefer fuel. Got my tire fixed. Still had air this morning. Brand new tire, I hope it did. I just went over a scales. I didn't even think to turn the camera on. I'm in Virginia. I hope she likes it. And the trooper in the scales said, "Sir, you're 1,700 pounds over on the drives. Please make an adjustment and come back around." I was shocked because I should have just gotten a ticket right there. So I pulled ahead and slid my tandems. Moved the tandems forward. Went back around and he said, "Driver, you are 800 pounds heavy on the trailer now. Make adjustments and go back around." So then I knew, because I watched David on mytruckingskills.com, and David said it's about 500 pounds per hole as you're sliding the tandems back and forth. And I was 6 holes from the front. I guess eight or 9 is the sweet spot, but I didn't know how this load was loaded because they sealed it before I got back from getting my tire fixed. So I went 2 holes. I went to number 8. And that should have been in between 500 and 1,000. When I went back around, he said, "Driver, you are good to go." And so I didn't get a ticket, and I've got this load, which is probably right up to weight. I'm probably 78,000 pounds or so, and I can be 80. So if I have any more scales between here and Allentown, Pennsylvania, I should be fine. I assume those scales were deadly accurate. I have to confess that there were cat scales
reimbursed. And if you're a driver, you know I should have, and I lucked out this time. Virginia is rolling hills, lots of hills, you can see. So it's just been a shifty drive this morning. I wasn't on 81, I was on other smaller roads going through towns and lights, and so I've benefited from my coffee. The coffee at Eagle Truck Stop was really good. It still is. It's probably because they had to make it fresh, because it was all gone, and I was the first customer this morning who wanted coffee. I wanted to tell you about the scales because, again, I think it's an analogy. The process for me has been similar with learning to manifest, learning to get along in life without so much resistance from life. It feels as though life wants to teach you. It didn't for years. I'm old enough to have been worked on a lot, and I have not always been grateful for the lessons. There are so many things I've needed to learn in life, and I feel as though the things I've needed to learn the most, I've resisted. And it's probable, I think, that I've resisted many lifetimes. And I just, in this lifetime, it feels as though I just didn't know. But I think the main thing I've needed to know is I need to learn things. I've always needed to learn things. And I haven't had that attitude that I've needed to learn things. And I have learned things, and if you ask my teachers over the years, they'll say, yes, I'm a good student, I've learned quickly and well. But some of my teachers who have tried more to teach about wisdom than just knowledge would say that in many cases I've been resisted. And you can't trust everyone. You should be resistant if you are being gaslighted, if you are being manipulated towards someone else's agenda. For me, the biggest lesson has been learning that overall, life wants me to figure it out. Life wants me to get my load balanced just right and go from there. And who knows where we go from here once we get our load adjusted. I have a feeling there are new lessons to learn in future dimensions. I don't think the point is learning how to drive a truck or learning how to teach well. I think the main points are bigger than that, and that learning the specifics that we learn in this dimension the learning isn't really about the specifics. The learning is about the overall attitudes and beliefs. And when we figure that out, I think we keep learning. I don't see how we could ever stop. I don't think we could survive that, getting stuck, being static. And there may be an end to the journey, or it may be that the journey is never ending. I would hate to think that what we learn is erased so that we won't get bored and then we have to go through it all again. That would discourage me if I do it. I'm glad to learn the specifics. It makes me feel good about myself to know how to slide my tandem to get my load just right. I'm glad it didn't take more than 2 tries to get it right. I showed some competence, and And that makes us feel good. It doesn't really matter what we're good at, as long as we feel as though we can conquer whatever it is. I don't know what you're learning at the moment, but if you learn overall that the universe wants to help you figure it out and doesn't want to be in a codependent relationship with you and just give it to you. Yesterday's lessons were big about patience, about the feeling that I needed to not rush people. I needed to give them agency over their life and not assume that my inconvenience, my flat tire, was going to take precedence over their comfort and their agency. If you think about supremacy, in a way, supremacy is subjugating other lives for the sake of your life. And when you need a favor, when you need help, it is, in a way, your life taking precedence over theirs, and you can have a good attitude about that or not. And people who do love serving, we've talked about house elves before, even they appreciate your awareness, your acknowledgement of the fact that your inconvenient moment inconveniences other people too. Even if they live for that, even if that's what their joy in life is. Now there's something on the right side, or the left side. I'm dyslexic again. Hazard, shoulder, vehicle stopped, send, just that easy. Oh, I got 6 points for reporting that. It's probably because somebody came along behind me and said, still there. Waze gives you points when you report hazards. And Waze, I have to say, there are times when I think for sure I've avoided an accident because I knew there was something coming on the shoulder and was ready to scoot over. But again, all of this is just a form of leveling up. And for me, the biggest leveling has been attitude adjustment. I just wanted you to see that this truck has balls, this truck ahead of me. I'll have to zoom in. I don't want to get too close because then my truck will tattle on me and say, increase following distance. But I'll do my best to edit it so you can see. I'm sure you've seen them on people's trucks, on people's pickup trucks. My daughter yells at people who are driving big pickup trucks, and she says, hey, what are you compensating for, you prick? I guess she's not always that polite. No, that isn't exactly what she said. I can't remember what she said. Oh, you've got a small penis, or something. She's creative. I'll have to ask her. If she ever watches this, feel free to put something in the comments there, Woods, and tell us what the best response is when you see non-toxic or toxic male obviously compensating for something in his choice of vehicle. Personal conveyance. Well, I did make it to Allentown. Those guys going in there, the shift that starts at 5 o'clock, which I eventually found out was the shift that they intended to unload me all along. BAL. Brokers always lie. I looked at my paperwork. It had me picking up at noon at the shipper in South Carolina, Florence, South Carolina, and we were told that that was flexible. But when we got to the shipper, no, it was not flexible. They wanted us there so that, I don't know why. I guess just so we would be sure and be there. And then they were very slow, and it was a number of hours after that we got loaded. Makes it tricky to get everything done in the number of hours that you have. So then that same broker that told us that it was a flexible pickup time around noonish told us that we had to deliver in Allentown, we meaning Turkey Hill, at noon the next day, which is pretty tight for that many miles and the kind of traffic that often lies in between those 2 points. So then I got here, and it turns out that because I had the flat tire that I didn't make it by noon. I made it close to 2 p.m. And I checked in and didn't get a door. They said they didn't have a door yet. So then I parked over here. Then an hour or so later, I went back in to see what was going on, and they said, oh, my appointment was 4:30 p.m., not noon. So if you're trying to fit everything into a 14-hour shift on a Friday so you can go home, be with your loved ones on a Friday, you're guaranteed to run out of hours. You're guaranteed to run out of hours. And then on a Friday, that means you're going to be sitting at some truck stop. But I don't think they even want me to use personal conveyance. So maybe I'll be sitting here all night. I'll try to figure out some way not to do that. But I'm not that far from, Allentown isn't that far from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. I ought to be able to get back home on a Friday night. So this is an example. I'm bringing this up as an example of the owners and their henchmen, women, not giving a fuck about regular working people. They don't care. As George Carlin said, you have owners, they own you. They don't care at all, at all, at all. They don't give a fuck about you. That's what he said. The broker tells the carrier, Turkey Hill, that they have to get the load there by noon so that they are sure to have it there by their appointment time. And then whoever is driving is guaranteed to run out of hours sitting there at the receiver. And that really stinks when you're stuck at a warehouse and you don't have any hours, especially when they say you must vacate the premises. You can't even sleep here. And you don't have access to food or a shower or smooches or, you're just shit out of luck. But the broker is thinking about one thing. What's best for the broker? Wonder if I can see who the broker is here. Broker info. Jack. What kind of logistics? My old eyes can't make it out. Logistics. Got a load of 40,000 pounds of something frozen. I never did see it. Well, thanks, Jack. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I think that we who are owned need to stick together, and we need to say to Jack and his ilk, the suck-ups to the cronies, you know what, we don't really need to do this. At least not for you. If you don't give a fuck about us, we don't give a fuck about you. So what was my mantra? Do no harm, take no shit. I think we need to start. All of us truckers, I think we need to figure it out. On behalf of all of our fellow peasants, I think we need to figure this out. Okay, I'm in a door, watching the last minutes of my shift flee away from me, feeling the last bumps of the french fries being unloaded. I think that's what they were, or fish sticks or something healthy, I'm sure. And I was thinking about a clip I was editing from a week ago on Friday. Today's Friday again, I can't believe it. And it's a week since Ethan's birthday. I expected to have my editing more caught up than that. But anyway, I digress, as usual. As I watched that clip, I was remembering that having a good day may be needed every once in a while, but your bad days are the days where you win the competition with a high degree of difficulty. And I'm trying to think, how can I win the competition when brokers lie and when we're not treated as though we matter? I'm not advocating taking shit, but I'm trying to figure out, like the little tailor in the Aesop's fables, or the Grimm, I think it's Grimm, yeah, Grimm's fairy tales. And the little tailor always figured out how to take whatever was happening and turn it to his advantage. So I'm going to take the name of the broker out. Maybe I'll leave his first name, because you don't know Jack. And I'm not blaming anyone at Turkey Hill. And I'm trying to figure out if there's a way. I don't want to cause any trouble, while at the same time I want to make it clear that I'm not a cog and that I expect good treatment, and through charm and cleverness, like the little tailor, I'll figure out how to make everything turn to my advantage. Because for sure I deserve it. I won't be sleeping at home tonight. I'll be sleeping in this truck, either here on the premises or somewhere very close by, trying to find a way. I'm all out of food, so I'm trying to figure out some way that I get to eat something this evening. But fasting is good for us. I'm sure it builds character, and it's good for our bodies too. I was on my way to Bandit Truck Stop. I still have 32 minutes left of drive time. And on my way, I had this thought that I would stop at any truck stop that I saw, like when I saw Eagle last night, and just went for it. I didn't know anything about it, but it was a truck stop. Now, I just found... Oh, this looks full though. I might still end up at Bandit. Let's see what happens here. I'm stuck where I was. What's that? That's a spot. Anyway, here I am for the night. I'll keep you posted. What is this little town called again? Going along 55 miles an hour, and all of a sudden you gotta go 35 miles an hour. Maxitawny, that's it. God bless Maxitawny. 35 miles an hour. Is that passive aggressive or what? Oh, if you didn't notice, I got enough hours back to go home on a Friday night, but now it's a Saturday morning. I'm figuring out how to level up with this experience of not being with my sweetie on a Friday night. I was thinking about the Shaker song. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free, 'tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. I wonder where that is. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we shan't be ashamed. To turn will be our delight, and by turning, we come round right. Till by turning. So, it's a process. Perhaps it is a process that we're all expected to eventually get through, because if we don't, we're stuck here forever. Now, is that processing like meat? Are we being ground up into hamburger when we're bending and turning? Or are we becoming something better that will, not in a codependent way, but just an independent way, will that make us happier with ourselves? Until by turning, we come around where we want to be, as opposed to where the masters want us to be. Now, the masters are real assholes, but are there masters who are benevolent or benign, even, not choosing sides, not caring really whether we figure it out or not, but definitely wanting to help us say are worthy? But if we get there, let's just say, till we come around right. I have interesting thoughts at 3:15 in the morning, 3:14. My mind doesn't ever turn off all the way, or even part way. There's the rudders I could have gotten to if they'd gotten me unloaded a little bit faster. It's brand new rudders. But I got to the Wawa that had truck parking. And I showed you that lot, and I read the sign as I went in, and it said 30-minute parking. I was looking around at all the guys settling in for the night, and I thought, I'm probably okay. I did see a police car. And I did see what looked like a lot lot lizard. If you don't know what a lot lizard is, you can look it up. And I don't think the police were there to kick us out. I think they were just there to make sure nothing got out of hand. By the time 2:30 rolled around this morning, there was no place you could shoehorn an extra truck in. It's nice not to have the 40,000 pounds of French fries in the back. The road is bouncier. I was turning the camera on to tell you that if a road is too bouncy for you to drink coffee on, that road has no right to exist. And a lot of roads in Pennsylvania have no right to exist by that measure. You can't even go the speed limit when you're empty on this road, or you'll shake the fillings out of your teeth. This is 222 South again. I'm always complaining about 222 South, how dangerous it is. So much traffic goes between York and Allentown. So much truck traffic. And it looks like a combination of freeway and Amish go-to-meeting trail. They should widen the whole thing out, smooth it out, let all of the little quaint towns do their best to get the traffic to come to them. I think a lot of it is the Amish-owned businesses. They don't want, especially Highway 30 is like this, they don't want people to bypass them. They want that traffic. I just say you should have to drive a truck for 30 miles at 35 miles an hour through Amish country. And then you decide. It's fine if you don't have to be anywhere at a particular time. But you got brokers lying to you about when you have to be there. So you're busting your ass to get somewhere by a certain time. And then you look at the whole network, the whole infrastructure, say, yeah, this just doesn't work. I have the feeling with regard to simplicity, and Jesus alluded to this when he was talking about turning the other cheek and heaping coals on your adversary's head when you pray for him when he despitefully uses you. I think it's not just a way to be happy, which is good enough in and of itself, but it's a way to heap burning coals on the heads of the gaslighters. And you smile as you do it, because when you're in the place Jesus was describing, you have no ill feelings, no ill will. You have risen so high that you're in a different dimension. You can't even see them. You've risen above them to the point that they don't exist for you. The gaslighters. Because when you are angry, you dwell in the same plane, and then you can see them and they can see you. But when you're not angry, you cease to exist for them, and they, more importantly, cease to exist for you.
At the roundabout, continue straight.
And when they cease to exist for you, I think it makes them upset. Hopefully, my gaslighters' psychological...
0.1 miles. At the roundabout, continue straight.
They get all excited about roundabouts. They can't stop talking when there are roundabouts roundabout.
At the roundabout, continue straight.
It is kind of fun to say, roundabout, roundabout, especially in an Australian accent. There are a lot of roundabouts in the UK. There are probably a lot in Australia too. So I was talking about heaping burning coals on their heads. Jesus couldn't have been too opposed to being happy about that, or he wouldn't have said it. So I think that's the answer for the brokers who lie and the other gaslighters, whether physical or metaphysical. You rise above them, and they disappear. You're not taking shit. You're just in a place where maybe it becomes something else besides shit. Like it's transformed. The shit is transformed. It's transformed into something useful, like fertilizer, only better because it smells good. When you get to that point, it isn't shit anymore, and you look forward to leveling up. You look forward to all the shit. It just turns you into a beautiful flower. For some reason, my truck GPS stopped talking to me. I think she's jealous of the Australian girl. I can look at the screen and see what to do, but I don't get any roundabout discussion from her. And she doesn't even know where half of the roundabouts are because they're new. And she is woefully out of date, even though I update her every time Garmin tells me to. I don't think Jesus got processed. Even though the gaslighters murdered him, and I think felt as though they had won, I think Jesus had the last laugh. I think he goes on. I don't think he ended. I think we all go on. And I think his way of doing things left him with full agency. And I think he wants that for everybody. I think we're all supposed to get ahead of our gaslighters and not be processed by them. And I don't think the universe much cares either way, whether we go up or down. But if we do get to that place, the place just right, it seems that we will be in a higher place relative to the people who want to process us into mincemeat rather than a lower place. I think we escape them and leave them where they are, and we probably do end up in some kind of valley of love and delight. Not the losers, not the processed. And also, it's notable that we don't have to turn into people who process others. We don't have to turn into exploiters to end up in that place just right. We obviously can't be exploiters, or else that place would spit us out. It takes some tough circumstances to bend you that much because of our culture, the way we were brought up. We think of women as auxiliary features by default. We have to blow ourselves up and get ourselves out of that place. I think that's where an open relationship comes in, a polyamory, because you stop feeling like an owner. You have no ownership of someone who is able to date other people or be in love with other people or have more than one partner. That patriarchal bullshit of having ownership of a woman or many women, the whole polygamy thing, that's still patriarchal. It's very patriarchal. So the woman having agency in the terms of flexibility, that's important. That may be the only way for the caveman to come to that place just right. As we approach the shining city of Turkey Hill, on the hill, we're looking for our spindication. not vindication. Are the windmills spinning? You might have to take my word for it. The one on the left is spinning. The one on the right is not spinning. Let me make sure. Yep, the one on the right is still.
In 3/4 of a mile, arrive at home, on the right.